Hi everybody, my name's Katie Landrum and I'm the Assistant Director for Fitness Wellness at Recreational Sports for Indiana University. We're going to do bar fitness today and we're going to do it body weight, so you won't need any extra equipment. You can see my mat in the background, but if you don't have one, that's okay too. You can use a towel or a blanket or even just use the carpet if you're okay with that. If you want to have an extra blanket underneath you, feel free. Under your knees, we'll be on your knees and tabletop a little bit today, but always feel free to take any options, modifications, or progressions that you feel work for you. A little bit about my background. I have a 500-hour RYT as well as some bar fitness training through Barre Above. I love to lead a variety of formats, for everything from cardio to strength, but strength and yoga are probably my home base, if you will. If you have any questions or concerns, don't hesitate to reach out. We're always excited to get involved with some other opportunities for our participants. So look out for more rec sports at home.
All right, let's get warmed up. Starting with those feet, you're gonna rock side to side, lifting one heel and then the other. Make sure you're standing up nice and tall, shoulders over the hips. And now we're just lifting those heels here. You'll feel the soles of the feet loosen up. Now I want you to take out that balance and lower into a semi-squat position. So feet are parallel and your arms can reach forward if you'd like. And now you have the option to lift both heels at the same time. Heels can lift with those arms as you do so, finding space across the chest, balance on the balls of the feet. Remember, you can always go back to that single heel option. We've got two more here. Now we're gonna go into a chair pose up next. So sit and stand. When you stand up, straighten those legs and squeeze the glutes as you reach up tall. Feel those heels dig down into the floor. Your hands can reach forward or come onto your hips, whatever feels best. Good, so here you've got 4 more. 3, 2, and we're gonna step one foot back into a lunge. 10 toes point towards the short edge of your mat. Make sure you both have 90-degree bends in your knees. Keep those collarbones wide. Now you can always keep both feet stationary here. Or you can tap that back foot in to find a little balance challenge here. You can also step up into Passe by bringing the big toe of your left foot or your back foot into the inside of your standing leg. Good, so remember, you can always go back to that stationary or come into that tap or Passe. Now we're going into second, plie and stand. 10 toes point towards the corners of the room and your knees are pressing over the ankles here. Those arms are gonna start wide. Good, so we're swiping those hands across the table here. Fingertips are in line with those shoulders. Hold. Lift those heels right and left. Alternating to get started, those hands can come back out to center. Nice. Now if you want, you can lift both heels at the same time, chesting your balance, or stick with alternating heels. Nice. Do a little pulse here. For 4, 3, 2, second side lunge, lower and lift. Now remember, we're keeping those hips, knees, and toes facing the short edge of your mat. When you're ready, test that balance, maybe tapping forward. Or coming into Passe. You can bring that back foot onto the inside of the standing leg for a little bit of a different balance challenge here. Nice, keep that full front foot on the floor. Big breaths in, big breaths out. We're getting warmed up here for 4, 3, 2, open to second, plie and stand. Good, so that plie just means to bend here. Lower those hips like we're riding an elevator, opening those and closing those arms as feels good across that table. Now next one, I want you to hold down and we're gonna pulse a little bit here. Good. Take those arms overhead if that feels good, opening up to overhead and back to second. Nice. So those hips should feel nice and warm. Your shoulders should feel nice and warm. Come to the back edge of our mat. We're going to work into our upper body warm up here. So I want you to roll down into a plank, moving as slowly as you need. And we're going to shift back to downward facing dog. So as you shift back, we're going to keep our hands and feet in the same position. And I want you to think about drawing the tailbone up as you shift back into downward facing dog, and then lead with the crown of the head as you shift forward into plank. Good. When you're ready, lower one knee at a time or lift one knee from that kneeling position here. You can do this from the knees or onto the toes here. We're starting to warm up the core and get ready for some push-ups as well in that upper body warm up. Good, just a couple here. All right, that next one, we're gonna stay and take a slow push-up and straighten those arms. Good, collarbones stay wide to the floor, head stays in line with the shoulders. Think about pressing the floor away from you here each time you press up. Good, nice and slow here, finding that control, finding that rhythm. We're gonna keep the knees down for our warm-up round of push-ups. I like to tuck my toes, so I'm pressing the tips of my toes into the floor. Good. Give me a couple more here. Roll out those wrists if you need. We're gonna reset before we go into our first work set, our first upper body set. I'm gonna show you a couple different options for that work set. So we've got push-ups again, but you have the option to tap your hand towards the other hand. You'll see what it looks like from a little bit higher up here. You can take that tap option or do just your regular push-up. You'll see this from the side as well. I just wanted to give you a preview of what that looks like as we get into it. Take a moment in child's pose if you need it, and we'll move on to our upper body set. So when you're ready, join me in a tabletop position. Starting with those toes tucked, we're gonna do plank walks. So you're gonna step a foot back, and then the other, and then bring it in and in. Good, keep it up here. You can do this from the knees or from the toes. It's gonna come to the same option here. But one, you might feel a little bit more challenged with the knees hovering off the mat. So listen to what your body needs today. No matter where you are, we're keeping a nice flat back. Good, back into those push-ups here. These are a little bit quicker than last time. Good, holding that plank. 4, 3, 2, and you got that option for those push-up taps. Good. So here you can do push-ups or add that tap of one hand towards the other here. Nice. Keep it going. Remember, listen to your body. You may need to take it slower or faster, but we always want to find that nice strong plank position. Shift back into child's pose. Roll forward into a tabletop or kneeling plank. Shift back one more time. Onto our belly for back extension. So body is long onto the mat. Hands can stay by the ears or underneath the shoulders if you'd like to hover those hands just above the mat. But here your gaze is going to go about 6 inches above the top side of your mat. And we're feeling the muscles of the back engage along the spine to lift up your upper body. Good. This round, you can add that reach forward as a little bit of a hold with that upper body lift. Or you can stick with those single back extensions. Good. Here we're going to press the tops of the feet into the floor and think about squeezing your hips towards your ribs so you can still keep your core engaged here. Legs are nice and long on the mat. Good. Press back into tabletop pose. Tuck those toes, plank walks again. Good. Remember, you can hover those knees or take those step backs from tabletop. Whatever feels best. Good. For 4, 3, 2, let's take child's pose before we go into tabletop. Press back one more time. We've got one more round of push-ups here. You can take those plank taps, but I'm going to take your regular push-ups here. You've got that option if you want it. Stay nice and strong. Good. Hold that plank coming up. Here's 2 and 1. We're going to hold that plank here nice and strong, finishing out this upper body work. Good. Big breath in. Big breath out. come into downward face, or into a forward fold, excuse me, and stand on up. You can shake it out a little bit, but we're gonna take a few more of those plank walks. So when you're ready, roll it back down and walk out to a plank. Good. Rock your weight back towards your feet. Bend your knees as much or as little as you need as you walk back into that forward fold. Our hamstrings may be warming up still or need a little bit more time to get loose as we move through. Good. Take 1 or 2 more here, whatever feels good. All right, we're coming up next. We're coming into our shoulder segment. So I want you to start in first position. Your toes are framing a triangle here. Heels can be glued together and lifted off the mat, or you can bring those heels onto the mat. But we're all starting with bent knees here into our first position plie. Your arms are gonna lift forward and up, forward and down. Good, this is where we're starting. Think about holding a beach ball in those arms. And we're keeping that upper body nice and stacked right over those hips. Good, so here, relax those shoulders away from the ears. Good, so now we're just doing that top half of our lift, going from middle to up, middle to up. Good. 3, 2, 1, we're gonna pulse. Take it up and up. We don't have any weights right now, but trust me, this will get a little bit heated in those shoulders. You're gonna feel great after this. Good, remember you can always come up onto the balls of the feet or keep those heels down. Good, back to that top here. Lift and over, middle and down. Lift, up, middle and down. Good, keep it going here. Last time, open up and close. Now we're doing the same thing from our workout here. Think about reaching those fingertips towards each wall here. You can do one arm at a time if that feels good to give your other arm a little rest, or you can continue with both arms. Here, remember, we're sliding across the table, opening across the width of the chest and keeping those arms long. 4 and 3, 2. Next one, we're gonna lower halfway down. Lower and lift. Good. Palms are facing front here, trying to feel those arms nice and long. I think about trying to get closer to the wall, each wall beside me with each lift. Good. Pulse it up. Give me a thumbs up here because we're feeling great. 2 and switch. Pinkies. 8, 7, 6, and 5. My arms are burning. 2, alternate. Thumbs and pinkies. Good. You should feel nice and strong through those shoulders here. Couple more. Relax. Let those shoulders roll down away from the ears. Shake it out. We're going to take a moment and we're going to reset and start back from the top, condensing everything, but doing one more round. When you're ready, we're starting back at that first round here. Lift those arms, middle and up, middle and down. Continue here. Stay with that upper portion for 4, 3, 2, and we're gonna hold, open it up and close. Open and close. Nice. So remember, you've got that one arm option. Feel free to take it here. Open and close. Nice. Pull. I want you to hold nice and strong. Hold it out for the rest of the song. And relax. Good. Shake out those feet. All right, we're getting ready for our first lower body segment. We're gonna start with a parallel position, 10 toes forward, and just start with a calf raise. Lift those heels and lower, lift and lower. I want you to think about lifting the crown of the head up tall towards the ceiling. Now we're taking a little plie here. When you're ready, bend those knees slow and stand it on up. We're riding an elevator. It's like our back is sliding down a wall. If you need help with balance, feel free to grab a chair or place your hand on the wall beside you. Lower for 2 and lift. Good. Switching back to that calf raise. Half lift with those heels now. Good. So we're keeping the weight through the center of the ball of the foot. Pulse it out here. Nice. Stay strong. Finding that top part of our calf raise here. Going into full range in 2 and 1. Lower down nice and slow. Then you're going to shake it out. And we're lifting and lowering. Finishing out full range here. Lift and lower. Good. Lift and lower. This time we're going to lift and hold here. Taking that plie again. Down and pulse. Good. So remember, small range of motion here for that pulse. Now we're going 2 down, 2 up. Taking that full range back and moving nice and slow. Finding some control and some strength in our muscles here. Good. You can see I've got my hand on the wall beside me, but if you'd like, your hands can come to your hips or onto your sides. Now we're coming into first position. Turn those legs out from the hips, finding that triangle with your feet. And we're going to start with those calf raises. Lift and lower, lift and lower. Nice. Keep it going. Half range here, lowering those heels only halfway, trying to keep the knees and toes pointing towards the corners. Maybe if you want to bring those arms out to the sides or onto the hips, that might help with balance here if you'd like. We're going to pulse it up here. Lift and lift. Much smaller range of motion than that half range here. Next, we're going into first plies. Bring those heels closer together. You can start with those heels on the ground here if you'd like. Down for 2 and up. Nice. So here we're finding that diamond shape in the legs and feeling that tailbone drop straight to the floor. Arms can come in front of you if you'd like. You can even lift those heels if that feels okay and bring them together like we did in our shoulder work. Good. You've got a couple more with this full range here. Half range right here. Down, halfway up. Good. So feel your shoulder blades drawing down the back. Feeling those knees tracking with the toes. 4, 3, 2, and pulse right here. 8, 7, 6. You got it here. Keep it going. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Shake it out. Those legs should feel nice and strong here. So for this next part, we're going to use the back diagonal or Arabesque, somewhere between second position and Arabesque, as our lower leg work here today. We're going to work our glute with that. You'll feel this nice and strong. So you'll see that we're going on the corner here, and we're going to lift and lower from that tendu position or that point of our toe. So stand up nice and tall. Find that place somewhere between second and Arabesque. And we're going to start to lift and lower here for that lift and lower. We're going to use a long leg, and you're going to point the toes. Now here, think about lifting out towards the corner, and it's not going to be a very big range of motion. Now we're going to cut that in half with our half range, lowering half down. Good. So stay nice and long through the upper body. Use a wall or a chair if you need it. But try to keep those toes pointing towards the wall, towards the outside edge of your mat as you find that pulse range. This should be so small it'll be hard to see. Good. Keep it here. We're on, look back to that full range. Good. 4, 3, 2. We're going to step it back into that parallel lunge. So here you can stick with that stationary version if you'd like. You can take that tap. Or you have the option to lift your back leg into an arabesque. So you can flex those feet like I'm showing there. Or you can point the toes behind you. But we want that leg nice and long so we feel the hamstring and the glute lifting the leg, so you can use that here. Good. Pulse it out. Tap it, that back foot in. Stay low right here. In and out. Each time that knee comes forward, maybe you tap that exhale out. Weight is mostly in that front leg and we're staying nice and low. 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to set up for that second side Arabesque, or that leg lift to the side. As you can see here, my leg is coming slightly behind me and slightly to the side. And we're going to try and keep that tailbone pointing down and those hips pointing forward as much as possible here. Good. Half range up next. Lower halfway. Good. You should be feeling the outer edge of your glute here engage. We're going to pulse. Keep it up. That bottom foot is slightly turned out. Try to keep those shoulders over the hips or slightly forward here. Back into that lunge and lift. Now you can tap that back foot in, or you can take that arabesque that you saw on the other side. I'll show it here in just a moment. Wherever you are, we're still keeping knees and toes and hips tracking towards the front of our mat. And you lift that back leg nice and long if you're deciding to take that arabesque. 4, 3, good. Here's 2. Stay low right here. Tap it in, and in. Good. Keep those collarbones wide. Weight in the front leg here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out. That's the end of our lower body work. We're going to move it down to the ground now. So join me on your back with the knees pointing up towards the ceiling, soles of the feet right underneath those knees. Going straight into glute bridges here. So when you're ready, we're going to lift those hips up and down. Eyes look straight towards the ceiling, and you want those knees to be tracking straight in front of your hips. So if you look towards those knees, they should be coming right in line with the middle part of your hip here on each side. Lowering halfway down now, so taking that half range here, keeping the full foot pressed into the floor, arms nice and long by the sides. 4, 3, pulse towards the ceiling here. Lift and lift. Good. Feeling the glute squeeze each time your hips lift higher towards the sky. Coming back to that full range. Lower and lift. Good. Give me 2, and we're going to roll over towards the front for a side plank. We're going to meet with the knee and the palm into the floor, or maybe that full leg is extended. But if you'd like, you can extend that top leg towards the sky here, finding a little bit of abductor work. Find your balance and keep lifting that leg. Either way, you're still working your obliques as well as those outer hips. 2, and we're going to hold it right here. That bottom knee can be down, or those legs can be together. We're moving into a high plank here, so bring those knees and those hands into the mat in front of you. You can keep both knees up or lower them down here. We're going to alternate knees like we did earlier. Or you can take both knees at the same time if that feels good for you. Good. So here, feeling the shoulders over the wrist, keeping that back nice and long. Set up for your second side. So shoulders over the wrists. Bottom knee can be down as you lift the top leg. Or you can send both legs straight here, finding that same work in the obliques and the top outer hip. So it's really challenging sometimes to keep those hips facing the wall in front of you, but I encourage you to stay with it. Keep shoulders and hips nice and strong here. Find that balance for 3, 2, 1. Lower down into your glute bridge one more time. Press the feet into the floor. Lift those hips and lower. Lift and lower. Lift. Hold it up nice and strong. 2 down, 2 up. Up for 2 and down. Lift for 2 and down. Good. Lift and lower. 1 more. Let's go half range next time. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. Good. You might feel a little more space across the chest here. Hold it up. We're gonna hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and lower down. We made it to cool down here. Hug those knees into the chest. Gently rock side to side. Give yourself a round of applause if you'd like, or a pat on the back. You guys did great today. And when you're ready, we'll lower one leg down and cross the opposite ankle over the knee, making a figure 4 here. Now you can stay with that bottom foot on the floor or grab that leg in closer to you. So hugging the bottom leg closer in. What we want to focus on is keeping the head, neck, and shoulders relaxed towards the mat. You can rock here gently as well. And when you're ready, gently release that bottom leg and roll over towards that leg, finding a quad stretch. So we're stretching the front side of the thigh, pulling our heel towards our glute, but then pulling our hip bones towards the ribs while keeping those knees close together. Take a big breath in before rolling onto your back and crossing your second leg over into figure 4. Now again, you can hold on to the back of the thigh if that feels good, or lower that foot into the mat. Take what feels best here. Rock those legs side to side. Good. You can hold these stretches as long as you'd like, but we'll be moving on here in just a moment to our quad stretch on the second side, rolling over, grabbing the back foot or your pant leg here, finding a little balance, bringing the knees close together. Good. Again, trying to zip the ribs towards the hips. And then when you're ready, release that back leg and come up to a comfortable seat with your legs reaching long in front of you. We're going to extend those arms up before folding forward, stretching out those hamstrings. Your hands can rest on your thighs, your shins, or on the floor beside you. We just want to find a place that's comfortable. If you'd like to bend your knees slightly, feel free. When you're done with your hamstring stretch, we'll turn towards the front and start with a twist. So twist towards one side and take one arm behind you and one arm to the outside of the knee. Think about reaching up tall here, maybe feeling that exhale get you a little bit tighter, deeper into that twist before bringing the back arm across the chest, stretching out the deltoid or the shoulder. When you're ready, pat yourself on the back for a job well done, as well as a tricep stretch here. You can pull that hand back to the wall, maybe dance a little bit if you'd like. When you're ready, twist towards the second side. Lift the crown of the head towards the ceiling, feeling that chest turn towards the side wall. And then when you're ready, release that twist, and we'll bring that back hand across the chest for a deltoid stretch. When you're ready, we'll switch to a tricep stretch. Again, you can gently press that elbow towards the back wall or just find the stretch without any press at all. But thank you guys so much for coming out. It was a great time.
Thanks for jumping into Barre Fitness on Rec Sports at Home. We hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know if you guys have any questions or concerns. Always feel free to reach out to us if you have any. But we hope to be posting more soon, and we'll let you know when those happen. But for now, enjoy what's up. Thanks, everybody.